Podcast, episode number 187. Nick Quaglia tonight, Al Nahigian. No Jared Scali, no baby duties tonight. Jared is now just working late, which Jared, since I've known him, is now on job number 3. Okay, I've got no idea. Yes, yeah, but not because he got fired or anything.
Yeah, no, that's true.
He left the first one, and I think COVID was the second one. I think he got late at one of those millions of COVID layoffs. But I have no idea where Jared works now. But now they're making him work late tonight. So no Jared, just me and Al tonight. And I mean, it's the same as it's been the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
Patriots tonight and Celtics, and I want to talk. I've got a changed opinion on something with the Celtics.
Okay.
Pretty big changed opinion.
Okay.
And it hurts.
Oh no.
And it's gonna hurt to say.
I don't like where this is going at all.
So we're gonna talk about some Celtics rumors. Give you a hint.
No. Okay.
Celtics rumors. Celtics season starts this week, which I can't believe. We just ended the NBA Finals.
Didn't it end in like October?
Yeah.
Something crazy like that?
I think I got COVID immediately after.
Oh,
which wasn't even that long ago.
By the way, how's that coming along? Can you like smell now, or is that still a thing?
No, I can't. No, that's still gone.
Oh, sheesh. I'm sorry. That sucks.
But the craziest thing about the Celtics season, the NBA season just ending so recently, I still don't know. I've been thinking about this for a week. I do not know how James Harden got that fat.
Yeah, he looked kind of thick with 2 C's, if you know what I'm saying.
In that time span?
I know. Like, how many cheeseburgers and doodle, whatever you're eating? How?
That's Chinese food buffets, which I'm going to assume buffets are still open in Texas.
Hey, don't knock Chinese food buffets. They are delicious.
I love it.
I know you're a big Chinese guy. I do know you're a huge Chinese food guy.
I don't know how you know that, but that's true.
Because I listened to the show before. We've been over this. I told you I listened from the beginning. I heard those Chinese food stories when you were in college. Like, I remember.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, I don't remember mostly anything that I say. One of my friends texted me today about I'm in the fantasy football championship, my big money league. No big deal. But he texted me today and said that I said something, or like one of our friends said that I said something. And I can't say I didn't, because I probably did. I just don't remember.
I think your memory has gone to crap basically the past like year and a half. I don't know. Just knowing you as long as I have now, it seems like it's going almost like this. Just steadily decreasing.
No.
Not gone, but steadily decreasing.
No, what's bad is it's a straight line. This is how it's always been. This isn't new. I don't remember what I say. I just keep talking, and I don't remember the words that I say. So I probably did say it. So, I mean, that was my response. I don't remember saying that, but it sounds like something that I would actually say.
Hey, remember when you said you were going to give me $100 when I won that bet? Yeah, I remember that. So pay up.
See, that's the thing, though. I probably did. But I'm not going to give you $100.
Good decision. Very smart.
So we're going to talk about the Celtics. We're going to talk about James Harden. We're going to talk about the Celtics season, and then Patriots quarterbacks. And I'm a little pissed that Jared's not on the show, because this is a prime. Actually, no, I'm not, because we can just shit talk Jared for his stupid decision on wanting Carson Wentz to be the Patriots quarterback next season. Why? There are so many other options. Many other better options.
We'll get into that.
It doesn't make any sense. We're going to talk about. I need to talk about Cam Newton deniers. Cam Newton being bad deniers. Because they're approaching the level of Stidham stance.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
We'll talk about it. We got a ton to talk about tonight.
So we'll talk about that too. But first, we'll get into the weekly dump. It's a short weekly dump because we actually have a lot of stuff to go on and talk about tonight.
Pew.
Juju Smith-Schuster catching a ton of heat after making a TikTok pregame last night, dancing on the logo of the Bengals. Which, listen, I'm a big bat flip guy in baseball. I want baseball players to show their personality, because that's a problem in baseball. There's no personality, which is why the sport's dying. It's not because of the time. It's not because the time it takes. It's not because of the pace of the game. It's because there's no personality in the sport. And all these old baseball people, they refuse to let it into the sport. So I'm all for bat flipping. I'm all for shit talking in baseball. Give me all of that. That's already in the NFL. Dancing on a logo is just one of those things that's known to be wildly disrespectful.
Yep.
And that's across all sports.
And no pun intended, but Juju gave the Steelers bad juju going into that game.
Yes. So
seriously.
And you set yourself, my problem with that is you set yourself up to then, when you get your ass kicked, which is what happened again for the third straight week, when you get your ass kicked, then that's wildly embarrassing. I'm a Juju guy.
I'm using the F word. I'm going to use the F word for the Steelers right now. Frauds. They're frauds.
I was gonna say you're gonna warn me before you say fuck.
No, and yes, I will, Nicholas, because if any of my students ever heard me say that word, I'd be in deep you know what.
Deep shit.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying it for me. I appreciate it.
The Steelers are frauds, but you shouldn't lose to the Bengals. They lost 27-17. You should not be losing to the Bengals.
And especially, that's how you know they're frauds.
A Joe Burrow-less Bengals.
Yeah. And
even if they're secretly a mediocre team, you still shouldn't lose to a Joe Burrow-less Bengals.
And the Bengals are going to get a top 5 pick and be even better again next year because they're actually going to improve and get protection around Burrow. Like,
I don't even know if this is a hot take, but the AFC North is turning into the best division of football.
That's a hot take because some people might debate the NFC West. So that's a hot take.
I mean,
it's pretty competitive. I mean, the 49ers are trash this year, but the other teams in the division.
But just think about, like, look at the quarterbacks in the AFC North right now. Baker.
True. Yep. Big Ben, Lamar, and then Joe Burrow. Yeah.
That's a stacked division.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, 3 teams in that division are going to have 10+ wins. So it's pretty good.
The Steelers, I mean, yeah, they're frauds, but you still should not lose to the Bengals like that. And the fact that Juju did that before the game and then they got their ass kicked, that's bad. And I'm a Juju guy. I've always been a Juju guy. I think he brings a ton of personality to the game. He's fun. I love his social media. My problem is not the TikToks. TikTok is just a part of our culture right now. That's going to happen.
It's the logo for you, right? It's doing it on
the logo. Right. And it's not only the logo, it's dancing on the logo, then getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, that's bad juju. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to do the pun, but it's literally bad juju.
It's bad. It's embarrassing. And I mean, would I like Juju Smith-Schuster to be on this team next year? He's a free agent, I believe, this offseason. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Bring him to New England. But if you think Bill Belichick would ever allow that, you're crazy.
Oh, he would straighten that out before Juju even walked into the door.
He'd smash his phone.
Yeah.
Juju wouldn't be allowed to have a phone.
He'd be like, Juju, can I see that for a second? That's not going to happen anymore. Time to get down to business.
More dumb moves by the NFL players. And I don't know why he does this. But Dwayne Haskins, man. Did you see this?
Yep, I saw it today.
Dwayne Haskins, post-loss, goes to a strip club without a mask. I don't know if he understands what's going on.
I don't think so. But then again, neither does anybody. I shouldn't say anybody, but a lot of people still don't get it. But
first of all, just as an NFL player right now, like, you know that if you test positive, you're already the backup quarterback. You're finally getting your chance again. You're the backup quarterback due to injury. You're starting. You shouldn't be going out to strip clubs and risking potentially getting COVID and then being taken off the depth chart for 14 days.
I have a thought on that. I think Dwayne Haskins is almost asking to get cut because he sees that Ron Rivera's given up on him. So it's like, okay, I need a fresh start. How can I do that? Oh, I know. I'll do the stupidest thing in the world. I'll go to a strip club without a mask, get caught for it, and then maybe they'll cut me.
I wish I believed that. I do. But I just think he wanted to go see some boobs.
Probably.
I think that's all it comes down to. I don't think he was thinking about the masks. I think he was just thinking, I want to go to the strip club. He's 22 years old?
Something like that. He's
22, young. 23 years old.
Yeah.
He was just looking to go to the strip club. And by the way, shout out to the Giants for not taking Dwayne Haskins like everybody thought they were going to and going for Daniel Jones. As of right now, it looks like Daniel Jones was the right choice over Dwayne Haskins.
Yes.
He still has a lot of talent. I still would love to see Dwayne Haskins succeed. I just don't know if it's going to be with the Redskins. I don't know if anybody's going to succeed with the Redskins.
It is not going to be with WFT.
Not the Redskins. Sorry, the Washington football team.
There you go. Got to be culturally correct here, Nicholas.
That was my fault. The Washington football team.
There you go.
And Kemba Walker still reportedly, quote, a long way away from returning from his knee injury, which is going to relate into what we have to talk about with the Celtics with these trade rumors that are going on. That was the weekly dump.
You
guys, support as always comes to our friends over at Manscaped. They support this show. They support LLP with Al, Chowder, and Fiesta.
100th episode tomorrow.
100th episode tomorrow. You guys are promoting the hell out of that. I'm excited to listen to it. Guys, support for the Couch Guys Sports Podcast comes from Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Jingle balls to the walls, fellas. Listen up. Untrimmed pubes are a thing of the past. It's time to gear up and get yourself the gift of shaving this holiday season. I am talking about the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. Talked about this a million times when I was younger. I clipped my nutsack, thinking they had to use little tiny scissors to get this job done. Little did I know, Manscaped, they weren't around at this point, I don't think, but maybe they were. But I should have been using this all along. I should have made one for myself and then upgraded to Manscaped once they finally came out with their own tools. That's why this revolutionary company, Manscaped, has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 3.0 has proprietary advanced skin-safe technology, so this trimmer cuts on your nuts. It's also waterproof, so you guys can use it in the shower. Mine's been in the shower for days. I just haven't taken it out, and it's still working. The Lawnmower 3.0 comes inside their brand new Perfect Package 3.0, which makes for the perfect gift this holiday season. It's literally everything that you need to keep trimmed, cut-free, and smelling nice down there. And don't use the same trimmer on your face as you do on your balls. That's disgusting, you fucking animals. The Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0 also includes the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. Big fan of it. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? And yes, your balls, they smell, guys. Speaking of sweaty and stinky balls, I am thankful for their Crop Reviver. The product, along with the Crop Preserver, keeps your balls from sweating, smelling, and sticking. And these products smell good. Their manly scent is attractive and will help set the mood, if you know what I mean. We're talking sex. The Perfect Package will also come with a pair of Manscaped boxers that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day. It's time to upgrade those overused pair of boxers to Manscaped's high-performance anti-chafing boxers. 'Tis a season of Manscaped, so get yourself, your dad, your brother, and your friends the best gift of all, the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. This is when you listen. Get 20% off with free shipping with the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. Your balls are going to thank you. Again, get 20% off with free shipping with the code CouchGuy20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using promo code CouchGuy20. That's CouchGuy20. Clean up your nuts and make Santa proud this year, because Santa's going to be asking when he gets to your house, did you trim your balls? He's going to ask. And the fact is, he's going to know because he's Santa Claus. Couch Guy 20 at checkout. 20% off, free shipping. All right. Quarterback for the New England Patriots in 2021 is going to be interesting.
Yes.
Because here's one thing that I think everybody's already ruled out, but me, Nick Quaglia, I haven't ruled it out yet. Jared Stidham still might be the quarterback of this team.
Okay. I like where you're going so far. Continue.
Am I a fan of Jared Stidham? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we might have seen enough, but I think, if the Patriots don't start Stidham in these next two games, they're dumb. And if they don't start Jared Stidham in these next two games, if they actually don't, then that tells me all that I need to know.
Right.
That tells me that the Patriots have no faith in this kid being the future starter of this team.
Right. And I mean, it's a situation where, I mean, let's look at the facts here. You're 6-8, you're out of playoff contention. You can't make playoffs. What reason is there at this point to start Cam? You have a backup that is in his second year in the league. Yes, you have the small sample sizes. You have like the garbage time. Like, I get all that. Give the kid 2 starts. And you're facing two ends, two different ends. You're facing a Buffalo team that's very good and a Jets team that's very bad. So you're getting 2 different, types of competition here. Why not let Stidham start 2 games? And then if he fails, then you know what you have to do in the offseason going into 2021. And that's either draft a quarterback or find a veteran free agent or trade option. And I'm sure we'll talk about it.
It doesn't make any sense not to. It really doesn't. Like, if you think that Jared Stidham still has a chance. This is your opportunity. There's literally nothing to lose. The only thing that this could do is if he sucks, you get better draft position. That's all that does.
Right.
If anything, it's beneficial if he sucks.
Right, exactly. And not only that, it's just like you said, there's nothing to lose at this point. Absolutely nothing. And it's funny because Belichick said this week he's not necessarily, looking past starting him. So he didn't say, like he's been saying, Cam's our quarterback, Cam's our quarterback, Cam's our quarterback.
That's all that was. He just didn't say this week definitively like he's been saying that Cam's our quarterback. He left it open this time, which he hasn't done all season. But and speaking of which, Bill Belichick, I mean, I don't know if you heard the interview on EEI with Lou Merloni, that clip.
I didn't.
Lou just kept asking him, rightfully so, are you going to start Cam Newton this week or are you going to start Jared Stidham? And Bill said a couple times, I've already answered that, which he hasn't really answered that this week. And Bill was getting pissed. At one point, he just went silent for like a good 15 seconds. But
sounds like Bill.
But I've got to – I take exception to that at this point because it's not a crazy question. I get it. If you're a Bill Belichick these past 20 years, you're winning. You guys are 12-4 or you 12-3 headed into the last game of the season, whatever. But the fact is, your team sucks.
Yeah, your team's not very good.
You guys suck. Like you couldn't stop Tua. You gave me some kind of hope when you absolutely whooped the ass of the Chargers.
But did you really? I mean, you knew the Chargers were bad.
I did. I got a little bit of hope.
Then you're a straight up fool because I knew after that I was like, okay, they're starting to come around, and I kept saying it until if they beat the Rams going into the Miami game, then I would have been excited because it's like, okay, you still have a chance.
I had money on that game.
Yeah, well, yeah. How do you feel about that one now? Do you wish you had that one back?
Yeah. No, you know what? I might have. I forget if I bet the Patriots to cover, which they didn't, or if I bet the over. Whatever it was, I lost.
What was the line on that game? Was it 2.5?
I don't remember. We just talked about my memory early in the show. You think I'm going to remember numbers?
I mean, it involves you losing finances, so yes, I would expect that you would know. Yeah,
listen,
okay.
I lose. It's like I never had the money.
Okay, so we know who takes care of the finances. Got it. Okay, just wanted to check.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, for sure. But that's whatever. Whatever.
You opened up the can of worms there, pal.
But I just hate the idea that Bill still thinks that he can pull that in like acting like that's a dumb question by Lou, because it wasn't. It wasn't a dumb question because if you're not going to answer whether or not Stidham's going to be the starter, you're going to get asked again because, like we talked about, you have nothing to lose in starting Jared Stidham.
Right. And as we're recording on the 22nd, Tuesday the 22nd, I think on Christmas Eve we're going to find out who the starter is. I think Bill's just going to come out and either say Cam's our quarterback or we're giving Stidham a shot. And I mean,
I don't. I think he's going to make us wait till Sunday.
That would be ridiculous. That would be dumb. But then again, it is Bill Belichick. Let me ask you this real quick. It's Christmas time. Christmas wish list for the Patriots. Who's on your wish list? Like for who you want to see them bring in next year?
For quarterbacks or for everything?
Everything.
Well,
I got 3 names.
You need to get a receiver.
Yep.
I love the idea of Corey Davis.
Corey Davis or what's his name? Corey Davis or Corey Coleman?
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis. Okay.
Tennessee.
Okay.
Love the idea of Corey Davis. He's been on fire this year, which probably tells me the Patriots aren't going to get him because he's going to be expensive after what he's put up this year.
Right.
But a guy who might be inexpensive because he's been wildly mediocre is Juju.
Yeah, maybe.
Juju's got talent. So if you could get either Juju or Corey Davis, add a weapon there. Hunter Henry.
Yep, that's the one. That's the one I want.
In LA.
Yep.
And then quarterback, which is going to be the main topic here. I don't know. I think if the ideal scenario and the name that I want to see here is Matt Stafford.
We're thinking on the same wavelength because I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, this is a guy that, he got the crap kicked out of him by, and Quags is just looking off. I don't know what he's looking at, folks, so don't ask. But anyways, Matt Stafford is a guy that gets pummeled, and I mean absolutely destroyed in Detroit because he has no line, no help. You come to the Patriots, your offensive line is pretty good when it's fully healthy.
We'll see
Andrew
what they are next year, though. You're
That's true.
probably going to lose Andrews or Tooney or maybe both. I think you'll keep one of them, but you're going to lose one of those too.
If I had to bet, it would probably be Tooney because there was some rumors before this season that he was going to be gone. So I think Tooney. I think you're right. I think Tooney's as good as gone.
Tooney's going to be expensive.
Yeah,
he's going to be the highest paid guard in the league.
Smell you later, pal.
I mean, he's phenomenal. The best guard in the league. Highly deserved of being the highest paid guard in the league. But there's no way Bill pays that. No chance.
No. But the thing is, too, is like after like Trevor Lawrence, who's really a quarterback in the draft that really excites you? Like, yeah, there's some names out there. Kyle Trask from Florida, Zach Wilson, BYU, obviously Justin Fields, Ohio State. But like, are they really going to be a sure thing? Like Trevor Lawrence is like a generational type talent. And he's either going to be in Florida or he's going to be in New York. One of the two. He's going to be with Jacksonville or the Jets.
Well, it depends. It depends on how much the Patriots, like what you're saying. If the Patriots think that one of these guys are absolutely certainly going to be the future of this team, then I wouldn't be shocked if they traded up because Trevor Lawrence. I think they would try. Listen, no, I think they should try. Will they try? I don't think so because Bill's going to make some obscure move in the first round that everybody's going to be pissed off about. But they need to get a quarterback.
They do.
And if they think that they have a guy here, trading up might be actually an option now with the Jets winning this past weekend because I think Sam Darnold comes off the table now. I think Sam Darnold will end up being the quarterback of the New York Jets. They have time invested in him. He was a first round pick, however many years ago now. Only a few years ago?
I think like 2 years ago. Was it in 2018 he got drafted?
I'm not sure, but he's still there I still think he's wildly talented.
He is. He just needs to be in the right system.
I don't think Darnold is going to get replaced by one of these other guys unless it's Trevor Lawrence. Now, the Jets have some options. They could take that tackle who's at the top of everybody's boards in the draft, or, which would be great for Sam Darnold, don't get me wrong, or they could trade. It would be a lot. They could trade out of that second pick. And if the Patriots wanted one of these top quarterbacks, they could potentially move up and take one of those top quarterbacks. If I had the choice, I like Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind Mac Jones. Okay. But then you have to ask the question, do the Patriots have to move up to get a guy like that?
I don't think they have to because
they'd have to move up if they wanted Justin Fields, but I don't know if that would A, be worth it, or B, if they even want a guy like Justin Fields.
Well, let me ask you this. If the Patriots are going to move up in the draft, are they going to include a piece like Stephon Gilmore, who's in the last year of his deal, to try to entice the deal a little bit more?
I don't think like that's a move I don't think the Jets would make. No, well, maybe they would. They're dumb.
I mean, they need everything.
They're wildly stupid.
They need everything. Like I shouldn't say everything, but they have a lot of needs.
But that's a big contract you're asking the team to take on.
I know. I don't know if it's like the NBA where you can take half on, or not the NBA, the MLB where you can like take half and then have the other two. I don't know how that works in the NFL, but it's just something where, do you get rid of a guy like Gilmore, see if someone will take him? Do you get rid of a guy like Joe Tooney? But is Tooney an unrestricted? Is he Is he a free agent outright, or is he?
I think he's going to be an unrestricted. Or you know what? You might actually be able to franchise tag him one more year.
I was going to say, because I know they franchise tagged him this year. I just wasn't sure if they can franchise tag him again for next year. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But for the veterans, besides Matt Stafford, I mean, Carson Wentz, I'm sorry, Jared, but that is just a move that I don't want to see happen. I think he's done. I think he's a guy that just, if you have to pick him up, fine. But if you can stay away from him, stay away from him.
I don't think you're even going to have to. I think there are many other options. I think they swung and missed on not getting Mariota after what we saw last week.
Yep.
I think they could have made a better attempt at getting a guy like Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah,
I would have liked to see Teddy Bridgewater here.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the offseason. We thought, no pun intended, bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
Like literally.
I would have loved to see Teddy Bridgewater, but a real bridge quarterback I think would be a guy like Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's career probably isn't going to be too much longer because like you said, he's gotten his ass kicked. He has been beat up by
thanks for
defenses.
nothing, Matt Patricia. Thanks for nothing. But in all seriousness, besides Matt Patricia, like we've talked about it before, I know you're big on Jimmy Garoppolo coming back here, and I would be too. Like Jimmy G back here makes sense, but I don't think San Francisco is going to be willing to give him up. So what other options? Yeah, Sam Darnold maybe, but again, it all depends on what happens in the draft. It depends on what happens these last 2 weeks. So
I mean, the other option is bringing Cam back.
So this is a
Give
question.
Him a full offseason. That's what people are saying. He didn't get a full offseason.
Right. So this is a question that we asked on Legends Lingo, and I'm going to take this back a little bit, but I want to hear your opinion on it. How much blame on this season do you put on Cam Newton if you had to give a percentage of this season being a failure?
15.
Okay. See, I went way higher, and now that I rethink about it, like I would say, yeah, maybe like 20, 25. He didn't have weapons.
The team around him, this is the worst. This might be the worst roster in the league.
Yeah, it's up there.
Name a worse roster. Like even look at the Bengals.
I know. Maybe the Jaguars? Maybe.
The fact that we even have to have this discussion about whether or not the Jaguars roster is better. The Jaguars at least have weapons around whoever their quarterback is going to be at the time. Maybe Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
DJ Chark's
good.
Nasty.
And the Bengals are only going to get better because, like I said earlier, they're going to get another top 3 draft pick, and they're going to build around Joe Burrow.
And they've already got receivers.
Yeah, they do. So it's sad because you swung and missed on N'Keal Harry 2 years ago. You swung and missed. I mean, you could have had DK Metcalf. You could have had A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown wanted to be a Patriot.
He's a huge Patriots fan.
He was the biggest Patriots fan. Like, you see the videos on Instagram and stuff like that. Like, he wanted to come here. He wanted to be part of this team. And he would have been good. But now, obviously, hindsight's hindsight. It is what it is. There's no excuse this offseason. You have the money to do it. I think you have over $100 million in cap.
You've got a huge cap room.
You're like the 4th highest in the NFL this upcoming offseason. Like you said, Corey Davis, Juju Smith-Schuster. Maybe you call the Browns and just see, hey, what's the deal with Odell?
I know.
I know.
The Browns are playing better without Odell.
They are. So they might be willing to get rid of him and you get him cheap maybe. But you have to make moves. You have to be able to bring in more pieces, because unless you're trusting, like at the tight end position for a second, Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene to be your answer, I don't think that's it. So you bring in a guy like Hunter Henry. Call the Browns again. See if they want to get rid of one of their 2 tight ends with Njoku or who. They're not going to get rid of Hooper because he signed a big deal. But call about Njoku. Try to give – if you're going to bring Cam back in, if that's your only option, fine. But give him the weapons.
Yeah,
give him a legit chance.
You need a tight end. You need a receiver. Add those 2, and it's a totally different offense. Now –
yeah, because the running backs are good.
Yeah. Your running game is very solid. But Cam – and that's another thing. Cam has to learn how to stay in the pocket and just throw. And he's not fast enough anymore. He's not as elusive as he was.
No, and he needs to learn pocket awareness. He needs to learn, I'm not saying anybody's going to do it as good as Tom Brady because nobody's going to do it, but he needs to learn when to just throw the football away. Get out of the pocket, throw it into the ground. Like, it's so ugly because, I think so I remember we were doing the Madden stream on Couch Guy Sports Twitch, by the way. Go check that out if you haven't yet. And we were playing, and I think Topher Hurley was playing as the Colts with Phillip Rivers, and we had the discussion, who has a worse throwing motion, Cam Newton or Phillip Rivers, because they're both disgusting. Like, Cam just throwing the ball looks painful. It looks like he's trying to shot put it.
It looks like he shot puts the ball.
It's gross. And how many times has he gotten his passes deflected at the line of scrimmage?
It's like he's 5'6". All right.
And he's 6'5".
We gotta wrap the Patriots here, but I did want to say this, what I was saying before. The Cam Newton truthers. Guys, can we just admit that he's not that good anymore? And I get it. He doesn't have the weapons around him. I get it. Believe me, I understand. I think he would be a little better if he had better receivers around him. And it's not all of his fault what's going on. You just heard me say 15% I would give it to him on the season.
Right.
On why this team is this bad. But the people who just refuse to admit that Cam Newton is not a good quarterback anymore. Guys, Cam Newton can be bad. And Jared Stidham can also be bad. That's not a wildly hot take to say.
No, it's not. And let me ask you this real quick. If the Patriots hypothetically had Teddy Bridgewater or Matt Stafford or somebody else here, do you think they go – I'm not saying they're going to go 10-4, but do you think they're maybe at like 8-6 maybe right now?
They might have the same record.
If a good stretch.
They might have the same record. But they might have a win or two more. I mean, they probably don't lose. I would say they probably don't get their ass kicked by the 49ers, which people do have to remember. The 49ers aren't good.
Probably not.
No, the 49ers are not a good team.
No.
The Broncos, they probably don't lose to the Broncos.
They just came in and curb stomped you.
Yeah, they did. They whooped your ass. You probably don't lose to the Broncos, so you might have a win or two more. But it's just the craziness that's around Cam and people just refusing to admit that he's not that good. It's nuts.
I know.
It's nuts. Guys, we need a new quarterback here.
Yeah. Cam Newton, thanks for 2020. You know, the Instagram post was great, you know, but it's time to move on.
I do too.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy, and I wish him well. Maybe he goes to like Chicago or something and starts, unless they're convinced that Trubisky's still the guy. But I think Cam Newton's days in the NFL are numbered.
But this is what we expected too from him. This is what we expected. He beat himself up in the first half of his career. He wouldn't avoid contact. He would run through people. This is it was the same way with Gronk. His career is not going to be long because his body's going to be beat up. Look what happened. This is what we expected. All right.
Let's talk about a happier team. Let's talk about the Boston Celtics.
Let's talk about the Boston Celtics when we wrap up the show. So this is where I've changed a little bit. Okay? So the James Harden rumors are getting hot. The Celtics are apparently, and we've heard this a million times, every time there's a fucking trade rumor, it's, the Celtics are leading the charge. How many of those have actually happened? But apparently the Celtics are leading the charge now on James Harden. Which, by the way, the Kardashian connection would be nuts.
That'd be really funny.
The Kardashian connection would be ridiculous. They'd probably move to Boston. But James Harden now, apparently the Celtics are leading the charge on getting James Harden. And the centerpiece, the focal point of this deal would be Jaylen Brown. And last week I said, hell no. Actually, it might not even come out by the time we did the show. On Twitter, I know this. I said, hell no. You're not touching Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's my favorite player on this team. I think he's going to be a stud in this league. And I want him here on this team. But I did some stat looking at James Harden. I started to remember exactly who James Harden is.
Okay.
That's tough to say no. That's if you can get James Harden for Jaylen Brown.
But here's where I'm gonna throw a little monkey wrench in your plan here. But it's not only gonna cost you Jaylen Brown. For real. What else are you gonna give up? So if
you got to put Smart in that trade, then I think I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, you can't put Smart and Brown in that trade.
I can't lose them both. I love them both.
Now here's something. Let's say it was like Brown, Langford, maybe Rob Williams, and a pick or something like that. Do you do that? And I'm not saying that's realistic. I'm just saying that could be a potential package because maybe they look for a big man. I don't know.
With Taco Fall on the bench? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You think Taco's going to be ready in year 2?
Oh, listen. Taco's going to be a superstar.
Don't
mix up my words.
Stop it.
Taco's going to be a superstar.
Stop it. You're falling all over yourself. Like you don't even believe that. Look at the smirk on your face. You don't even believe that.
Listen, people listening don't see the smirk. Listen.
Yeah, but people watching are going to see the smirk.
Listen. James Harden for Jaylen Brown. Because essentially that's what it's going to come down to. Again, if you add Marcus Smart in that deal, no. I think no. Like, I'm still iffy about it, but if it comes down to James Harden for Jaylen Brown, you do it.
if it was one, if it was a 1-for-1,
And
I'm
if you
not
add
saying it
Romeo
is.
Langford, and if you add Rob Williams, and if you add a pick, I'm still doing that trade. Do me a favor tonight. Go just Google 2019, 2020 James Harden highlights.
Yeah.
You're going to get an erection.
But the thing is, you should use Manscaped to try to, make sure everything's good down there. But Jaylen Brown, that trade package, that specific trade package, believe it or not, the one piece that I wouldn't trade if I could pull it back wouldn't be Jaylen Brown. It would be Robert Williams. Yeah. Because he's going to be athletic off the bench. He's a guy that can play defense. I like him too.
But is Rob Williams putting up 30 a night? You got Tristan Thompson to supplement that. You got Daniel Tice.
So here's what I'll say. You'd have to twist my arm to really fully accept that deal, but I'd probably eventually be like, okay, deal. But if you throw in if you throw Marcus Smart in with Jaylen Brown, then you're losing 2 starters. You still have Kemba Walker out. But yes, I know you're adding James Harden. I understand that. But then
pretty good upgrade.
Yes, but what does your starting 5 look like after that? You have Harden, Tatum, Thompson. Kemba's still out. Who are your other 2 starters?
Teague.
Okay, fine. And then Tice?
Sure. Man. Hey, if you don't make this trade, this is one of those deals that I think it would hurt to make the deal. And if you didn't make the deal, I wouldn't care because I think Jaylen Brown's going to turn into a superstar in this league too. But if you did make the deal, I think people would be a little bit more excited than they're playing on to see James Harden in a Celtics jersey. And it depends if that picture is really a bad angle. Because, think James Harden. Guy's going to get back in shape. And he's throwing basketballs at the rookies right now in camp, in practice.
Yeah, that's not a that's not a good look. Not for James Harden.
I'll ask you this before you
I don't.
Let me ask you this. Swap out Jaylen Brown for James Harden. 1-1.
Okay.
Put the same 2 teams against each other. One Celtics team with Jaylen Brown, one team with James Harden. Who wins? Who wins the finals?
Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 5. No. I'm saying Celtics versus Celtics. Just one with James Harden, one with Jaylen Brown.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying you switch them. Okay.
That's a safe answer.
That's tough. It's tough. It's a tough situation. I understand that. I just don't know. I want to see what pieces. If a trade did happen, I'd want to see what the ending asking price was.
I don't think. Harden to Boston. I bet you could get that deal done without Marcus Smart, and if you can do that, you do the trade.
Yeah, you can't have Smart and Brown in the same trade. You can't do it.
But if you can get just Brown in the trade and not Smart plus a couple other pieces, you do it. You do it. Sorry. Love Jaylen Brown. He's my favorite player on this team. But James Harden is a cemented superstar who does nothing but hit buckets.
True. Hot take. James Harden's probably going to end up in Philly.
Maybe. I don't know if Philly would actually make that move.
If they want to try to win the finals now, they got to do something because what they're doing now, that ain't it.
Couch Guys Sports Podcast, episode number 187 in the books, presented by Manscaped. Nick Quaglia, Al Nahigian. We'll get Jared back next week, just assuming that his work's not going to keep him late again on a podcast night. Does that company not know Tuesday is podcast night?
I know, for real. It is podcast
night. Unreal. Again, Nick Quaglia.
Listen, I'm on vacation. I can do whenever. So you let me know. I'll do it whenever.
Yeah, I'm not. Nick Quaglia,
yeah, we know.
Al Nahigian. Guys, we'll talk to you next week. Follow us on Twitter at Couch Guys Sports, and then follow the show on Twitter as well at Couch Guy Podcast, and then follow us on Twitter too at Nick Quag.
At Big Al 2793.
2793, Big Al 2793. Guys, we will talk to you next week. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening.
See you guys.